Hello there, everybody. Saban92 AK Nightmare, and I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. So, good news is we're going to be tackling, well, episode 11, episode 12, and episode 13, so we'll be able to finish the main series this week, aside from the OVA, which we will tackle. The bad news is the website that I use to watch this, for some reason, does not have episode 11 in English. So, we're going to be watching the subbed version. Ironically, I would consider this kind of a good thing because I would like to at least have one time where I can hear what the Japanese VAs sound like for all the characters. I haven't went ahead and checked episode 12 or 13 yet about if they've got the English dub or not. So we'll, tackle that as we will. I just wanted to let you guys know what the deal is as to why we're going with a subbed episode in comparison to doing a dub episode. Granted, it's going to be a little bit harder. I think it might be a little bit harder to kind of keep track of things, but at least on the positive, we can at least, hear what some of the Japanese VAs sound like. You know what I mean? I think I've officially run out of room on the, this is the 1932 paper, ain't it? Yeah, that's the 1932 paper. There's 1931 and 1930, and then there's the 1711 and the 1931. Alright, I got a bonus page for 1931. How about that? Regardless, we know who the Rail Tracer is now. There will be justice for Tony as well. And now, well, the shit's still going down. We have two crazed killers going on in the train right now. And, I can't help but worry about everybody's safety. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be utterly delightful. But on the positive, hey, we know who the Rail Tracer is. Claire, the fourth of the Gondor brothers. Interesting, very interesting to have him be the one to do it. Because whenever I hear the name, it's again one of those things where it's kind of what I grew up with. Like, I always believed Claire to be kind of a female name, so it's very interesting having a male under the name Claire. And I feel like that was actually an incredibly good or clever... I don't know if that was intentional, but if it was intentional, that was a very clever way to kind of subvert expectations, because whenever I heard the name Claire Stanfield, I thought it was the girl who turned out to be Rachel, of all people. Like, that was her actual name. I legit thought that she was Claire, supposedly the assassin. But no, the Rail Tracer himself is the assassin, aka Claire Stanfield. Or I think he actually goes by the other name, Vino. Which, interesting. Interesting indeed. Oh, by the way, Eve's brother, Dallas, he's immortal now. But somebody tells me he probably gets eaten. I imagine Sizzlord's probably gonna eat him. So that's gonna be a thing. Anyway, let's get started. Or at least let's kind of finish this pseudo, yes, sort of. Okay. So, Rail Tracer's torturing Tesla, that's a thing. They get on another goddamn cliffhanger about where the fuck Dallas is. Sizzlord is now in the fray, fighting with Misa, but then again, this is before, before the immortal brew has been given to characters like Thero, Isaac, and I'm also going to assume Miria herself, too. So, this leads me to believe a couple of possible theories of what might happen here. Either Misa, gets the upper hand and somehow absorbs Sizzlord. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work out. Or, I don't know. Aside from that, we also learned a couple of things about the imperfect immortality brew. How, if my theory is right, anybody that drinks the immortality brew, the failed one, they are immortal, but they'll still age. However, they do not possess the same ability to devour other immortals, making it to where it's easier to just casually, eat them for pure immortals. And I'm starting to kind of get the basic idea of what Sizzlord, at least he kind of gave an explanation as to what he's trying to do with this, which, god damn it, fuck off, man. Just fuck right off with your stupid plan and all that shit. Sorry. Oh my god, I love to hate the guy. I also had that little talk about his musical theme that seems to accompany him every time that he pops up. Ennis explained to Firo about what she is as a homunculus and all that. So, yeah, that was actually quite... that was definitely a thing. But things are starting to get a little crazy. But more than that, I personally doubt we're going to figure out the truth of what happened to Dallas in the next episode. I guarantee they're probably going to wait until the final episode. But overall, as this was the first episode that I got to watch where it was in Japanese dub, I gotta say, some of the voice choices were actually pretty good. I noticed this a little bit here, but the Japanese voice and the English voice for Sizzlord, like, for some reason, the way that the Japanese voice sounded, it sounded like the actual English voice actor was literally trying his best to completely mimic the Japanese voice actor because their tones and the voice themselves sound almost the same. Almost. There's obviously differences here, but it sounded like the English VA was really trying to sound like him. Which, if that's the case, bravo on him. Or maybe I'm misremembering how his voice sounds, but to me, it just kind of sounds like he's literally trying to sound how the Japanese VA sounds. In which case, in my personal opinion, I feel like he succeeded. Alright, that's one episode down. That just leaves there's only 2 more to go through, so... I sincerely hope that the last 2 episodes are at least in English dub, because I'm already missing listening to the English dub, but it was rather fun being able to hear what the Japanese dub sounded like. So if y'all like this, I'm going to go hop in the next episode, and I'll see you guys there. So, I've got some good news, and I've also got some bad news. So, well, I guess you can kind of consider it good news, somewhat. Fuck it. So, episode 11, last episode, we had to go with the Japanese dub because the player that I was using couldn't load the English dub. The same thing is going to happen with episode 12. So we're going to be watching 2 episodes of the Japanese dub. However, I went ahead and triple checked. Episode 13 is still available in English. So we're going to be watching 2 episodes Japanese dub, but we'll be able to watch the final episode in English. So I hope everybody understands with that. I'm sure it's not too much of a loss, really, because I did like listening to the Japanese dub voices. They actually sounded pretty damn good. So I'd say maybe another episode listening to them would be totally fine. Also because I don't necessarily have time to literally try to search the entire interwebs for another site that actually has this show. Why can't streaming services actually have the options that I want? Why do I even pay you, Crunchyroll? What the fuck? Regardless, we are now, like I said, on episode 12 of Baccano. In the last episode, we're starting to get to the point where I believe we're getting really close to where all the other characters that we've seen become immortal. Now, we still yet to figure out what exactly happens to Sizzlord in the current future. I have like an idea. Or maybe Misa devours him, or somebody else does, but realistically, well, as long as Sizzlord is around, it's not going to be safe for any of the immortals. You know, it's just not going to be safe at all, because he'll be able to easily pinpoint who's an immortal just by telling them his real name while trying to fake his fake name, you know? Which puts a lot of them in danger. So realistically, there's no safety as long as Sizzlord is around. Like, standard typical villain stuff, you know what I mean? Oh, right. Rail Tracer started torturing Cheslaw, so that was a thing. Bit his fingers off, too. I realize the phrase is finger looking good, but I'd prefer to say that he probably was in the mood for some finger food. That was a double joke. That was a terrible double joke of sorts. I hope you guys enjoyed those. Ennis had an interesting moment with our good boy Firo. Kind of pretty much telling him everything. Like, spilling it out. And we learned we learned something interesting, that maybe Ennis contains some of the DNA and possible suppressed memories of the females that, Sizzlord has devoured. Out of context, that sounds weird. But anyway, looks like shit's really going down. We got another goddamn cliffhanger about what the fuck happened to Dallas, because we certainly haven't had enough of those. And I'm still of the idea we're not going to figure out what the fuck happened to him until, like, the last episode. So fuck it. God damn it. Just fucking goddamn, I'm going to get started. Alright, that was the second to last episode of Baccano, and let us explain what the fuck happened. As we were constantly switching between the train's perspective and getting eerily close to the moment of truth where we learn how all of the characters that are involved gained their immortality, I can already make a couple of predictions. However, let's go over a couple of things. Seeing how well thoroughly that the Rail Tracer was able to completely just trounce Lad, was so goddamn easy. Like, granted, it was mostly Lua's fault because she came to the train because she was worried about Lad. And ironically, that played perfectly into the Rail Tracer's favor. Like, very well so. I mean, his confidence in this entire scenario has just been baffling, yet also incredibly impressive. Able to turn almost every situation completely into his favor. Also, let's be fair, him referring to Isaac and Miria as splendid customers, like, screw that, give me a minute here. Rail Tracer, where are you? You will receive extra bonus points just because you recognize that Isaac and Miria are best boy and best girl. So, you definitely earned some bonus points on that one. I will definitely get that, my good. So, another thing. We also learned that Bird Food Man, aka the Sugar Cube Man, I'm of the idea that he's possibly a double agent, considering he looks like he was working with Book Coon. And with Rachel there. So, aside from Rachel reaching in to not only save Isaac and Miria too, that was actually pretty damn good. I am sincerely hoping that Cheslaw doesn't do anything stupid and actively hurt Isaac or try to eat them. I really hope nothing bad happens to Isaac and Miria because I love them way too much. But the way that, the Rail Tracer was so able to just casually control the entire situation was so fucking fantastic. Like, oh, by the way, lad, you're gonna throw yourself off the train. The fuck tells you that? That girl back there? Ah, oh, god damn it, you're right. Okay, yeet! Like, the way he controlled the situation was just so impeccably awesome, which definitely adds the Rail Tracer up on the ranks of terms of how much I like these characters. Also may have learned that, niece may have a bit of a bomb fetish, so that's a thing. She likes explosives. Interesting. Wondering how her and Jacuzzi's love life is like. Probably explosive in that sense, I would assume. However, in the more important matter here, we are getting to the point where I believe I know what's going to happen. Maybe not so much on the train, but I already know, I have a feeling that because of the amount of humanity that Ennis was shown from all the characters that she has been able to interact with, she's going to betray Sizzlord. And what really helps settle that, essentially, is that even whenever he's needing her to do something for him, he is still just trash-talking her unabashedly in an incredibly inhuman manner. In such a horribly... it's the way he talks about her, considering her trash. Oh my god. It's such an infuriating thing to have to listen to. Whenever I've gotten a feel for Ennis's character, got to see her interact with all these people, and showing that, yes, she may be a homunculus, but that doesn't change the fact that she's also human. She's learning human emotions. She's learning what it's like to actually interact with people and not be, like, bashed upon or just treated like shit. And I think what really helps sell that is the humanity that Isaac and Miria instilled in Ennis, along with Firo too. Like, those three key players, I feel like it's them. Those three are going to be the reason why why they get immortality in the first place, which means I have a feeling she's going to turn on Sizzlord, and thus that would probably result in maybe Misa being able to possibly absorb him, maybe? I would hope that. I mean, that's the only way we're going to be able to get rid of Sizzlord in the first place. Because Lord knows, as long as he's around, there's going to be nothing but misery and torture for everybody. But, I don't know. My working theory right now is that's what's going to happen. That, she's going to turncoat, save them, and then, well, hopefully get rid of Sizzlord. I sincerely hope that's going to be the case. But regardless, that was episode 12. It's time for us to move into the final episode, episode 13. And I will see you guys there. Hello there, everybody, and now we're on the final episode of Baccano, episode 13. And this time, don't worry, we're back with the English dub. Boy. Aside from technical issues, last episode, it looks like we're going to be reaching the climax. We now know how Lua and Lad got off of the train in the first place. Lad's got to have one hell of a crazy pain tolerance if he's able to hurt himself so effectively, and it doesn't make him flinch whatsoever. Like, dear God, man. Does he just run strictly on adrenaline to where he can't feel pain whatsoever? Oh my God, could you imagine if he actually just had that disorder where he can't feel pain or anything like that? That might help explain his sociopathic tendencies, possibly. Anyway, as I was saying, we're getting into the climax of the show from the way it's looking. I might finally get answers as to how the characters gain their immortality, what exactly happens to Dallas, which, by the way, my theory was correct. We still don't know what the fuck happened to Dallas. And I'm pretty sure in this episode, aside from finally learning how the characters got their immortality, finally, we get the answers to what the fuck happened to Dallas. Now, aside from train issues, really obviously concerned about Jacuzzi and Nice, because I want them to survive so that way they can have many babies and have a nice happy family and all that good stuff in the Mafia, and then just be good because they're a cute couple as hell. As well as Miria and Isaac being able to survive because it's Miria and Isaac. They're literally the best characters possible. But what I'm most concerned about is the events that's going to happen right now with Sizzlord, Ennis, and the rest of the characters. Might as well learn how the characters like Firo, the Gondor brothers, and the others, Isaac and Miria, acquire their immortality. Oh boy. It's sincerely got me worried about what's going to happen. But I'm of the theory that Ennis is going to turn and actually assist them by taking down the man, the monster who created her. Because, to be fair, him treating her like trash pisses me off. Anyway, those are my theories. Let's finish this. Aside from the 3 OVA. Okay. I give up. No logic. Fuck it. Fuck. There's my notes. Fuck it. Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna calm myself down a little bit here. Okay, so I've officially completed... Oh, maybe. Okay, I still have like 3 episodes left for the OVA series. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what those have to offer here, but let's just tackle this as if I literally just finished Baccano, which technically I kind of did. So... Okay, where do I even begin? Whenever I first heard of this show, this was not necessarily what I was expecting. With a name like Baccano, and from some of the promotional material that I've seen of this, and some of the stories I've heard, what I initially expected from this was it was going to be some sort of mafia sort of tale, strictly mafia, like realistic mafia. However, I was quickly proven wrong within the first episode that it's also going to include elements of immortality, alchemy, and other elements that I was not necessarily prepared for. However, it was able to wove it into the narrative quite effectively here. So let's tackle one of the first things that definitely threw me off and why I kept notes in the first place. The show had a habit of constantly jumping between several different time periods. The earliest being in the year 1711, the latest being 2001. however having a strict focus on the years 1930, 1931, and 1932. Each of these events having something incredibly important to each of them. 1932 being like the aftermath of sorts with all of the characters, as well as Eve searching for her brother Dallas in the Hudson River. 1931 being focused strictly on the train, the Flying Pussyfoot, where a lot of the violent events, especially considering events with the Rail Tracer, aka Vino, as well as the white suits, the black suits, and just the chaotic energy of Lad Russo, as well as the absolute ball-dropping energy and manliness that is Jacuzzi. And also, let's be fair, some of the cutest goddamn couple right there, Jacuzzi and Niece. Just the cutest. While Miria and Isaac were definitely the most wholesome. And in the year 1930, where we get some more of the origin points of how certain characters had acquired their own senses of immortality. Specifically, Firo, the Gondor Bros, Dallas, Genuard, and Isaac and Miria. All because of some just spreading around the entire family, just the whole just drink everything and all that great. That's just also fitting that Firo is the one to eat Sizzlord. Absolutely, goddamn. Where do I even begin with Sizzlord? They did a good job making a character like. I think it's pretty fucking obvious that Sizzlord was the villain of the series. Lad was literally just chaotic evil, while I want to say, if I had to give an alignment toward the Rail Tracer, it's lawful evil, I want to say. I don't know. He just kind of strikes me as either chaotic neutral or lawful evil. I think? Fucking hell. I've never been very good trying to do, like, character alignments or anything like that. I've always sucked trying to do those. Ugh. But I gotta say, constantly okay, it was a little disorienting constantly switching between the various time periods that took place in the show, but thankfully with the notes that I was taking, it was a lot easier for me to kind of follow stuff, as well as put certain things together. The whole idea of the immortality thing, very, very interesting how the immortals themselves, with their right hand, have the ability to impart knowledge upon others, or outright devour other immortals, as long as they think, I want to eat. Which, with something so unbelievably horrifying, it would make sense that there was going to be one character that kind of goes on a bit of a buffet run. AKA, we get Sizzlord, who ate a lot of people, and really the story did a very good job making me hate the guy. Like, seriously, holy fuck, I despised Sizzlord. Ugh. Goddamn brain dead boomer. But, oh, dear Lord, just... As well as going back into the year 1711, kind of seeing how the immortality brew was even created in the first place. Through the power of alchemy and all that, which is quite nice. Very interesting indeed, kind of seeing how that worked out. Or at least kind of seeing how it all started in the first place. As well as learning that technically there's another different type of immortality brew where you'll age. You'll be immortal, but you're still going to age. So, not necessarily perfected. Let's see. Let me go through my notes here. The side story, like, trying to keep track of all the families was a little bit difficult, but I was able to kind of keep the gist of it. Again, I guarantee you, I probably would have gotten incredibly lost with the show if I didn't keep at least some notes on me, you know what I mean? Like, the bird food guy, no, not the bird food guy, god damn it. The dude that I thought was eating bird food, but was actually eating sugar cubes, seemingly kind of being like a weird double agent. Which, I was actually quite good. That was actually kind of an interesting reveal there. The Rail Tracer reveal, where I thought that Rachel was under the pseudonym Claire Stanfield, where I thought that she was supposedly the assassin, No, Claire Stanfield was that red-haired conductor guy, aka the Rail Tracer. That was a damn good reveal as well. Let's see. I feel like there's a couple unanswered questions, like what inevitably happened to Lad Russo and Lua from from the previous scene we saw a few episodes. I think it was actually in the earlier episodes. I think it was episode either. Was it episode 2 or was it episode 3? Maybe it was episode 1. We just know that the police had surrounded him, and he is kind of missing an arm as Bone, and he didn't give two shits about that yet. Also, Vino getting married to Shane. That's I ship it. Sure, that works. I'll totally ship it. Let's see. There's not much I can say about like Isaac and Miria. They were literally the heart and soul of the entire show. Like every scene that they were in, I felt positive feelings, legitimate happiness every time that they were on screen. Even whenever I was concerned about their safety, they always found some way to bring a damn smile to my face, you know? And let's bring up, along with Isaac and Miria, let's bring up Cheslaw. Just being, oh god, the introduction of Cheslaw being also one of the immortals, and his own twisted, fucked up view on the world and all that, how we can't trust people, seeing that facade be broken down, not only by Isaac and Miria's kindness, where they completely accepted that poor boy because they're just the sweetheart. They're just sweethearts. And then finally, Misa showing that bit of kindness to finally break down that hardened shell that Cheslaw had built up to protect himself, finally allowing himself to embrace his feelings again, was such a satisfying conclusion to his character arc. It was incredibly satisfying. Just seeing him embrace this sort of happiness, you know? And all these characters that are just casually immortal, like, hey, yeah, we're just gonna be all good. We're all good. We all good. Fantastic. That's great. That's great. And on top of that, seeing Eve's development at least a little bit. Not only being truly concerned about her brother's whereabouts and all that, but having somewhat of the maturity to kind of accept that her brother fucked up, but also coming to an agreement with the Don of that one family that wanted to, you know, perform experiments on him. Like, from what I understand, the manga actually continued past this, so there's actually still quite a bit of story after this that the show did not cover. So I'm imagining that there's probably like some sort of side story where she does get to visit her brother after they save him from his watery grave. So I'm wondering if there's like some events after that and all that. But let's see, let's go a little bit further. Lad's chaotic. He was just so mentally fucked in the head that I couldn't help but enjoy every scene that he was in, because there's like some part of my brain that was like, oh, let's actually have a character that's psychotic and is legitimately psychotic and he enjoys being, and he's not a fucking hypocrite. That's good. Good character. Fantastic character. Love him to death. Keep showing more of him. Except whenever he's got preferably whenever he's got a full arm, because that bony little fragment thing, that was terrifying. That was legitimately music itself was great. The opening theme, I can just think of it. I can literally just play that song in my head just because that delicious saxophone. I say delicious because, god damn it, I have a good taste for music, and that saxophone, woo, that's some good sound right there. Tasty right there. I think. All right, Rail Chaser, no fucking chill. Damn right I did. No chill at all. All right, Isaac and Miria have their like little wave dance as well as the mating dance. That's what I'm gonna refer to that as. Let's see. Ennis was actually a very good character in general. Even though I learned that she was a homunculus, seeing her interact with all the other characters, gradually giving her a human identity and human feelings, was actually very satisfying. And again, I'll say it right now, the biggest sense of satisfaction was finally Sizzlord's demise. And then Firo just kind of like, oh, you're not gonna die. Boop, you're fixed. What the fuck? Yeah, for some reason I already noticed. Oh, I guess that makes sense. You kind of ate him. Yep. I have a lot of emotional trauma right now with all the shit that I just learned about this guy. Oh, God. But damn, every bit of that was so goddamn. This show, oh, Nissan Jacuzzi. O-T-B. Let them have babies. Sorry, I Jacuzzi. Oh my God, I love his character so goddamn much. And every little bit of that, like, there's so many pieces of information that I got from them that I just want to see expanded on. Like, goddamn, I want to see more of Jacuzzi and Nice, just to kind of see, like, how their history started. And just, oh my God, they're so fucking cute together. Ah! Okay. I can certainly see why people consider this to be an incredibly good show, because it's only 13 episodes length, not counting the OVAs. But yes, I can certainly see why people love this show. It's unbelievably good. I need to get the DVDs. I need to support the creators. But yeah, I mean, granted, there's still a lot of stuff that I have that I need answers for, but overall, this was a goddamn amazing show. Actually, come to think of it, we never did learn about what happened to Mary, and I guess they were saved, but Is it just me, or this seems like the kind of show that requires multiple watches to kind of fully understand everything. Even though I took some notes, there are still some parts that I'm a little bit lost on. This kind of seems like one of those shows that requires multiple watch-throughs. No? Huh. I kind of want to watch this again. Anyway, everybody, next week we'll be tackling the OVAs, and that'll be it for Baccano. So if you all like this, be sure to let me know. I'm pretty sure that there are some questions that I still have that I'm still trying to piece together, with some stuff that I'm having a hard time trying to get my brain around, or get my mind around here. But I'll go ahead and tack on, like, if I remember, I'm gonna tack on like all of my notes, so that way you can kind of see my mental process as I was trying to write all this stuff down. It's about 4 pages, so that way everybody can kind of see what I was doing while I was doing. But anyway, that was Baccano. So thank you all very much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and I'll see you guys next week whenever we do the OVAs. See you guys next time.